Hi guys, it's me again. Did you miss me yet? I hope life is treating you well. There is a road in Arizona that does not go through anywhere. Well, it just goes to one place and stops. That place is Baghdad. Not the one with minarets and ancient markers, flying carpets, and the Arabian Nights. This Baghdad is tucked into Arizona's high desert, surrounded by rocks, sagebrush, and sky. Yesterday, we took that drive, and let me tell you, it was one of the most unexpectedly gorgeous drives I've seen lately. Winding curves, hills that rise like frozen ocean waves, and skies so dramatic they deserve their own soundtrack. Yes, the clouds. We were lucky to see these clouds. They were white as milk in the most fairy tale shapes you can imagine, just floating up there like they were waiting for their own close up. We had blue skies, good light, and just enough existential loneliness to make the desert feel enchanted. It was so gorgeous. So I filmed every curve, every bush, every glint of light off the random shiny rocks. And all the while, I kept thinking, where the heck are we going? What are we going to see there? Turns out we were headed straight into the history. But that began the way many Arizona towns do. A prospector with a dream and some dirt underneath his fingernails struck copper in 1882. His name was John Lawler, and he staked claims called Copper Butte and Big Buck. No one's sure if he actually yelled, Eureka! But I like to believe he did. And it was so dramatic. Probably he was shirtless and sunburned. And as for the name, Baghdad, there are a few theories, okay? Some say it was named after the faraway city of Baghdad, just for the exotic flavor. Others think it was simply a spelling mistake that no one ever bothered to fix. But my personal favorite one, and the most locals go with, is this one. Back in the late 1800s, there was a father and son team working a small mine in the area. The son would shovel ore into bags, and when one filled up, he would yell out to his father, Baghdad! And that supposedly is how the town got its name. I mean, who needs a naming committee, right? When you've got practical kids and heavy bags of copper. By the 1920s, the Baghdad Copper Company was up and running, and the town started to take shape. First, it was tents, then wooden shacks, then the post office and the market. By the 1940s, Baghdad was full-fledged mining town with bunkhouses, schools, swimming pool, and even a movie theater. It was dusty, it was loud, and it was 100% about one thing, copper. Mining here started the old-fashioned way, underground with hard labor and harder heads, right? But by 1944, they switched to open pit mining, which basically means carving a giant ball out of the earth with explosives and dump trucks the size of small houses. In came Phelps Dodge and eventually Freeport McMoran, which still runs the mine today. It's still active mine town today. Now, the Baghdad mine operates 24 hours a day, extracting both copper and molybdenum. Try spelling that one without autocorrect. I dare you. It's one of the largest open pit copper mines in the country. And honestly, it looks like the earth decided to unzip itself and show you what's underneath. I want to come back to this town with the drone and see what the town looks like from above, from the sky. I think it would be really cool to see. And also, I hear the stargazing is so beautiful up there. That's another thing I want to do some astrophotography out there. Maybe, maybe one of these days. We'll see. In 2023, Baghdad had a population of 2.76 thousand people with a median age of 23.6 and the median household income of $98,641, which is like amazing for this town, right? Actually, for Arizona too, it's a very good income for Arizona. Also, 93.7% of the residents in Baghdad, Arizona, we're talking about Baghdad, Arizona, okay, not Iraq, are US citizens. Their commute to work on average is the whole 9.47 minutes. 9 minutes and 47 seconds. That is like long commute. I think it's super long commute. Yeah. No, just kidding. I wish my work commute was 9.47 minutes. That would be awesome. Now, here is the part that really caught me. Baghdad is a company town. Not metaphorically, literally. The mine owns the houses, the utilities, the grocery store, the medical clinic, the roads, the parks, even the pool, you name it. It owns everything. So currently there are fewer than 10 of still active or semi-active company-owned towns in the United States. However, in Arizona, Baghdad is the only one true active company-owned town left. That's it. No other towns in Arizona are active company-owned except Baghdad. If you live here, you work for the mine, or you are married to someone who does. You send your kids to Baghdad Unified School, grades K through 12. You get your checkup from a company-paid doctor, and you can pick from 6 churches where to spend your Sunday. If they had 2 more, you could visit a different church for 2 months. What happens if you run out of peanut butter? Well, you walk to Bashas, the only store in town, which brings me to the restroom. Now, I don't usually record bathrooms unless they are like really interesting ones, but this one had a character. Based on the original tile work, the patina on the mirror, and dark charcoal colored what looks like some type of water equipment. I don't know, maybe somebody knows what that thing is. And what I can only call historical sediment. I'm pretty sure this bathroom has been in continuous use since, 1895? Or maybe earlier. As I was looking at the bathroom, I was, standing there and thinking, wow, if this sink could actually talk, instead of making gurgling sounds, it would say, please call a plumber. But I say this with affection because there is kind of charm in a town that does not pretend. Baghdad does not try to be anything it's not. It's a working town, a quiet one, and a temporary one. Because when you work for the mine, you live in company housing. And when you retire or quit, you don't just leave your job, you leave your home. That's the deal. You get a grace period, 30, maybe 60 days to pack up and go. And I kept wondering what it's like to build a life, raise a family, plant a tree, plant memories, and then hand over the keys when it's done. What do you take with you? And what gets left behind? Of course, there is another side to all this: the solitude, the space, the silence, the beautiful stargazing. Baghdad does not have traffic, or noise, or crowds. I don't think we even saw a single pedestrian in that town when we drove through it. Hmm. But it has stars. Oh, yeah, I already talked about the stars. More than you've probably seen in years. I wonder if it's one of those places where it feels like you can reach your hand to the sky and grab one of the stars. Definitely want to come back to the town and check it out at night. It has those big Arizona monsoon skies, open space, beautiful, where thunder echoes off the hills and lightning web splits the horizon. It has slow mornings, gorgeous sunsets, and the quiet that gets inside your bones. Out here, you start to realize that silence isn't empty, okay? It's full of something else. It's full of memory, dust, grace, life. There is different kind of wealth in a place like this. Not the kind that comes from copper, but from the feeling that the world has slowed down just enough for you to notice it again. Now, you might be wondering, what's there to do in Baghdad, Arizona? Well, more than you would expect for a town that doesn't have a single stoplight. There is the Baghdad Community Golf Course, a full 9-hole desert style course with sweeping views and probably more rabbits than players. So bring your own clubs or maybe your own shade. Then there is Bridle Creek Riparian Habitat, a hidden little nature spot just outside town where water flows year round. Yes, actual water in the desert. You can spot birds, wildflowers, and the occasional confused desert frog, wondering how it got so lucky by having water in the desert. You'll also find parks, a community swimming pool, a library, and some seriously good stargazing. Did I mention that already? Yeah, I did. But anyway, I love stargazing because when nights fall out here, it falls hard and deep and full of stars. And if all else fails, just wander the town, talk to locals, eat at the diner. Yes, there is diner and there is a grill. We did not visit any of them because we were not hungry. But next time, if we come again, we'll definitely visit them. Or you just take a moment to sit still and listen to the desert breathe. So the road to Baghdad doesn't connect to anywhere else. You go in, and when you are done, you turn around and drive back out. And let me tell you, road that leads into Baghdad is so gorgeous. It's still beautiful on the way out. But my favorite part was road in, with all the turns and all the hills. Okay, here I am going over it again because I was so impressed with the drive. I loved it. But, some places don't need a destination beyond themselves. They just are. Baghdad is one of them. And maybe that's enough. So if you ever find yourself near nowhere, Arizona, take the turn, go to Baghdad. Roll down the windows, watch the clouds, visit the mine, and yes, use the bathroom at Bashas for history's sake, okay? That was it for today about our little road trip from yesterday. I hope you enjoyed it and talk to you later. Stay safe. Bye.